Rachel from Live Long Pilates, and I'm here to give you a quick 20-minute Pilates workout. This is postnatal friendly. I am 16 weeks postnatal, so I'm going to go through what I have been doing for my workouts to continue to strengthen and heal almost 4 months after having my baby. So today we're going to be using a Theraband as our prop. If you don't have a Theraband, I highly encourage you to invest in one. You can get one on Amazon. You can get a full roll and cut into pieces to have on hand, or you can buy a single one. I do prefer the Theraband brand. And this is the blue strength. It's labeled as heavy. I think it's the most versatile strength. It's my preferred strength, just in case you wanted to go out and get one. So we will begin seated. We'll sit down. We'll have our Theraband here, and we'll lie down to begin. So rolling down onto our backs. And take a moment and press that upper body down into the back, into the mat. So I'm pressing my arms down into the mat, widening my collarbone, and then feeling my ribs just release down. And we'll grab that Theraband. We're going to use it for a little bit of breath work here. So I'm taking the band around the back of my ribs, and I'm going to cross the band. So you just want to make sure you have those ends even. And we'll begin with some breath work here. So the ribs are wrapped, the band is wrapped around the ribs. Inhale, feeling those ribs expand east to west into the band, and then exhale out through the mouth, and we're going to feel those ribs draw together and down. Inhale, expand through the ribs. Exhale, let's pull east to west on our band, feeling the band helping our ribs corset together and down. Inhale, release. Ribs expand and fill the band east to west, so on our sides of our ribs. And then exhale. We'll corset the ribs down. You can pull the ends of the band, feeling it hug around that rib cage. So I'm feeling my ribs expand and even into the back of the mat. So in the back of that Theraband. Two more times like that. Inhale. So in the sides and also the back of my rib cage, pressing into that band and into the mat, and then I'm helping my ribs corset together and down. One more time. We'll release the band. You can just let that rest on the floor here. Bring your hands to your pelvis. Let's add some pelvic rocking. Inhale, tilt forward. Exhale. Melt. We're still thinking about our ribs expanding as we inhale. And then as we're drawing them down, we melt the waistband down. We're going to scoop that belly. Exhale. One more time. That feels really good on my low back. So I'm massaging the low back. I'm getting into those ribs. Now I'm going to engage that core. So you want to settle into your neutral spine, finding the position where your back feels nice and released. You'll notice that I don't really have a space under my low back. Some of you might actually prefer to gently press it down like this, or you might have a small space there. Whatever feels natural to you on that low back. The front body, we're going to feel that rib cage drawing down towards those hip bones, keeping that engaged. Let's go into our marching. Exhale, sinking belly to down. We march that right knee up. Inhale, we lower. Exhale. Inhale. So as I'm doing this work, I'm pretending that my leg muscles don't exist. So you'll notice that I'm not marching my leg very high at all. The higher you lift your leg, the more you're going to use the leg muscles instead of your core. Focus on keeping this pelvis as stable as you can. Notice if there's any wobbling. Inhale, exhale. Heavy leg, abs dragging that heavy leg up. One more time each side. Heavy, heavy leg. We'll place the arms down. Bring your legs into tabletops. Now that core is going to work a little bit harder for our toe taps. Single leg to begin. We're going to lower the right leg down. Tap, exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale. Now I'm fighting really hard to keep my belly button to my spine as I lower my leg. You may not be able to reach the mat, and that's okay. Only lower the toe as far as you can without that back arching off the mat. One more time. Still fighting to keep that belly down. Let's do double leg. And exhale, lift. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Two more. Notice I can't reach all the way down to the mat with both legs glued together because it's that much more difficult. I don't know if you can see me shaking, but I'm shaking. One more time. And exhale, lift. Let's hug the knees into the chest, gently rocking from side to side to release your back. During that series, you want to concentrate on keeping that neutral spine that we had established in the pelvic rocking and in the marching in order to keep that core properly engaged. If you start to feel your back hurting, that means you're going too far, you're doing too much. Make it smaller. Let's bring the arms east to west. Legs back to our tabletop. We'll dip to the right as we inhale. And then exhale, come back to center. Dipping to the left. Exhale, back to center. As you dip to the right, keep the left shoulder blade heavy. Exhale to center. As you dip to the left, keep the right shoulder heavy. Exhale. Opposite hip comes to that opposite rib to bring you to center. So we're working those obliques. And center one more time each side. Feeling really good. And exhale, center. Inhale. Exhale, center. We'll place those feet down. Place the arms down, going into our bridging. Organize your feet so that they are hip socket distance apart and a comfortable distance away from the sitting bones. Make sure that they're not too far away and that they're not too close where the knees are overly flexed. So right about here feels good to me. Arms are actively reaching on the mat and trying to reach the top tip of the shoulder blade to the mat. Press and stand into your feet. Let's peel the pelvis and the spine up off the mat, standing in both feet. As you hold this position, Feel the arms press into the mat. Feel all four corners of the feet press into the mat. We roll down, articulating through the upper back, the middle back, the lower back, and then release the sacrum and tailbone down. Let's inhale. Exhale, stand in your feet. Peel the pelvis and the spine off the mat, lifting up. Still pressing into the mat with those arms, still reaching the fingertips to the heels. Stand in your feet, all four corners pressing down, and we articulate that spine down, upper back, middle back, lower back, letting that sacrum and tailbone unfurl. Let's inhale. Exhale, press and stand into the feet. Peel the pelvis and the spine off the mat. Let's feel those heels hugging back to the fingertips as the fingertips reach to the heels. Notice as I hug my heels back, my heels don't move, but I'm actively feeling them reaching back to my fingertips on the mat. See if you can feel the backs of the legs working. One more time, inhale. Exhale, press into your feet, press into those arms as you peel pelvis and spine off the mat. Hold it here. Let's shift the weight into our left foot, really standing in that left foot as we start to pick up the right foot and then place it down. Shift the weight into the right foot. We stand on the right foot as we march that other foot up. As you shift your weight, going into these tiny marches, we're working on engaging the backs of the legs, the glutes and the hamstrings, and working on keeping the pelvis level. If you notice that this is too challenging for you at this point in time, you can modify by not picking up the whole foot, but just shifting to lifting the heel. Now you can still get this work by shifting the weight and making as though you're going to pick the whole foot up off the mat, but just the heel is lifting. Keeping the hips still. That's the modified version. I'll go back to the marches for 2 more sets. A lot of work in the backs of those legs. One last set. Let's stand in those feet, feeling the heels hugging back to the fingertips, fingertips to heels as we roll down upper back, middle back, lower back, and then release it down. Nicely done. We'll windshield wiper those legs. And we'll get into some upper body work here. So we'll bring the hands behind the head. Just a few ab curls. Curling head, neck, and shoulders up. So we are postnatal still, so we're very gently starting to reintroduce the abdominal curl. So you want to curl up 1 inch and lower down halfway. Now I should say that if you have abdominal separation after giving birth, so this is something that should be assessed by your doctor in your postnatal visits, and if you're not sure that you have abdominal separation, definitely check in with your doctor because you want to refrain from doing any sort of abdominal work like this if you have that diastasis recti. But if your abs are not separated, you can do a few gentle ab curls at this point, still keeping it limited. We'll do 2 more. And last one, really working hard on sinking that belly down as you curl. And then rest. So you want to watch out, you want to look out if there's any doming or popping up of the abdominals when you're in that forward flexion position. And if that's happening, you want to come back to keeping your head down and just working on that marching, those toe taps, and keeping the abdominals sinking down as best you can. Let's come to seated. We'll use our Theraband. And we'll go into some half roll back work. Make a shelf with those feet, knees bent in the seated position. We'll start sitting up tall. Let's tuck the tail around the spine. So still scooping and drawing that belly. We're hugging the belly to the spine. Rolling back as far as it feels okay. Push your feet into the band as you pull your abs back. Let's exhale, restack the spine. Sitting tall, taller, and taller. Inhale. Exhale. We tuck the tail around the spine. Scooping, scooping, scooping that belly. Maybe going a bit further if it feels okay. Push the feet into the band. And then we restack that spine. Sitting nice and tall, lifting through the crown of the head. So for me, it's feeling pretty good right about now to melt the tack of my waistband onto the mat. For you, it may not be that far, and that's fine. Or you might feel good to go all the way down. Everyone's different. I'm just focusing on keeping my belly. So you'll notice my gaze is on my belly so I can watch if it's doming or popping up. And sitting up tall. I want to add some rotation. So I'm going to take my hands a little bit wider on the band because I'm going to start incorporating those arms. Keeping both sits bones equally weighted. Let's rotate to the right, and we're going to pull the right arm down as the left arm goes up, getting into our obliques, and then come back to center. Let's do that again to the same side. We'll keep it to the same side. So I'm drawing my belly back. I'm pushing the feet into the band. One arm down, one arm up to get into those obliques. Adding that rotation. Let's do one more. And then come back through center, other side. So now rotating, bringing the right arm up, left arm down. Arms east to west, pulling apart on that beautiful diagonal. Both sitting bones heavy. Two more. One more time. And coming back to center. I want to get in some upper body work. We need to strengthen that upper body for carrying around the baby, for carrying around the baby gear, or if you're like me and you have a baby and a toddler, you got to carry around her and her stuff too. So let's roll back to our shaky place. Note that this might not be as far back as you went before. Push the feet into the band as we bicep curl and reach. Exhale. Keep the elbows lifted. Try not to drop them down. 4 more here. 3, 2, and 1. And coming back up. I'm going to come a little higher into my band to do some rowing. We'll again roll back to our shaky place. Press the feet into the band, and we're going to roll the arms back, squeeze between the shoulder blades. Exhale. Activating those upper back muscles. So important for counteracting all of that forward motion that we have with our baby, feeding our baby, carrying our baby, cuddling our babies. We'll do 4 more. And 3. And 2. And 1. And then rolling back up. Let's stretch the legs long, and we'll roll all the way down onto the mat. Glue those inner thighs. We roll down for a 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keeping our head down, we'll keep that band in around the right foot. Single leg circle. So we'll start with a nice stretch on that hamstring. And try to reach the other leg long on the mat and actively press that leg long on the mat to open that hip. If that's uncomfortable on your back, you can always bend the knee foot flat as a modification there. Let's go into our circles. So again, we're going to push your foot into the band as you pull the belly back. Take that leg across, circle, down, round, and up. Inhale, exhale, down, round, and up. As I circle my leg, I'm drawing my belly away from my shirt to keep my pelvis, my hips from moving. 2 more. 1 more. And reverse those circles. Actively reaching through my left leg on the mat as my right leg circles. Let's end with another stretch, and we'll switch the foot in the band. Getting a stretch through the right leg as the left leg reaches long on the mat. Releasing the ribs down, drawing the belly down. Let's do those circles. Across, down, around, and up. Across, down, around, and up. Pushing the foot into the band to release through your hip. 1 more. And then we go the other way. Giving ourselves a nice stretch. And we'll take that band away. Do that safe transition to come up. We'll do a quick little rolling preparation here. So we'll wrap that tailbone under. Again, we're trying to scoop the belly away from the shirt. Use those low abs to lift the feet. Tiny rock, and then come back to balance. Tiny rock, back to balance. One more time. Let's go ahead and go into our full rock. Wrap that tailbone under. Balance, hover. Inhale. Exhale. Balance, hover. 2 more. This should feel really good on that spine. If not, just stick to those tiny rocks. Reach the legs long on the mat for spine stretch forward. I'm going to use the band today because I want to get in a little bit of that back work. I find myself doing this a lot because there's just so much of this happening with the baby. Take your Theraband. Take it across those feet there. So we'll sit up tall. Exhale, round forward, scoop that belly back. And then as you restack your spine, we're going to bring those pinkies to the mat. So I'm drawing my shoulders down, feeling the back chain working. Inhale. Exhale, scoop that belly back into your spine, stretch forward. The band will go loose. And then pinkies to mat as you lift through the crown of the head. One more time. We scoop and we reach. And then pinkies to mat as you lift through the crown of the head. Let's round forward, spine stretch forward. Row the arms back and lengthen through the spine into a flat back. Extend long through the crown of the head as you bring pinkies to mat. Exhale, round forward, spine stretch forward. Row the chest through your arms, lifting through your head. Pinkies to mat as you lengthen tall. One more time. Reaching that chest through. Pinkies to mat. And lift. Take that band off. Take the legs wider than the mat for our saw. So we'll twist to the right. Pull the band apart as you saw for 3, 2, 1. Restack your spine. Float through the center. Pulling the band apart as we saw for 3, 2, 1. Restack that spine. Twist. Pull it apart, reach for 3, 2, 1. Three, two, one. Restack. One more time. So I'm pulling the band apart to get that upper body work as I twist, keeping both hips on the mat. Try not to move those feet. 3, 2. We'll rest there. Turn over and come onto your belly. Make sure my mat is straight. All right, make a pillow with your hands, and we'll rest that forehead on your hands. Legs are together and reaching long on the mat. If that doesn't feel good on your low back, you can separate those legs a little bit. Press your pubic bone into the mat to activate your seat and draw your belly off the mat. Let's keep the hands glued to the forehead. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift. And inhale, lower. Still pressing pubic bone to mat. Draw belly in. We exhale, lift. And inhale to lower. Exhale, we lift. Upper back muscles working. Inhale to lower. Keeping legs active, seat active as we lift. And lower. Exhale, lift, hold. Take arms east to west. Bring them back in so the opposite palm is up or on top, and rest down. Pubic bone to mat, abs drawing in. We exhale, lift. Arms out east to west. Switch which arm is on top, and rest down. Exhale, lift. Arms east to west. Other hand on top, and rest down. And again, press pubic bone to mat, we lift. We reach, and switch, and down. Slide the hands into your swan position. For me, my hands are just at the edges of my mat in about a goalpost position. Draw the shoulders down, press pubic bone to mat to activate your seat. We inhale, lift that chest. And if you can, press into the hands and lift into your swan. I still have energy in my legs reaching back. And then lengthen the heart center forward. Sending the heart center up as we track the palms back. Press and lift. Exhale, lengthen away from those toes. Drawing the shoulders down the back as you reach your head forward. Press and lift. Exhale. Getting longer away from those toes to lower. One more time. Press back into your counter stretch. Let's finish with mermaid. Sit in your 90-90 position. So one leg in front, the other leg then back. And we'll take this arm up by our ear. Stretch up to go over to the side. And then we'll take it down onto the mat as we stretch to the other side. Lift up. Exhale. Getting taller as you stretch over. And reach to the other side. Reach up, stretch over. Let's round through the upper body. Circle it around. Bring that hand to the mat. Let's press the hips up and forward. So we open those hips. We're going to open our chest and our arm as we draw some lazy circles on the ceiling. Let's bring it back overhead, round forward. Coming back to our side bend and up. Other side. and stretch. Side bend over. Up by the ear and then stretching up to the side to go over. And stretch. Round through the upper back. Place the hand on the mat as you press your hips forward. Reaching your arm up, we draw those lazy circles. So I'm pressing my hips forward. I'm also reaching through my chest. I'm getting this really awesome stretch through my chest. And we round forward. And up. And you are finished. I hope you have a great rest of the day.